Shalakaya Chakshu. I was born the darkest ignorance, and my spiritual master has kindly opened my eyes with a shining torchlight of transcendental knowledge. I therefore offer my respectful obeisances under his lotus feet to the Prabhupada Ki. Okay, so where are we up to? Let's have a look at this.
I think we've just finished text 7, number 4. So we just.
I was just thinking whether we finished the purport, but I think we did. I think we finished the purport. Yeah. Okay, so today we're reading from Bhagavad-Gita, chapter 7, titled Knowledge of the Absolute, text number 5.
Number 5.
Aparayam etas tvanyam.
Aparayam etas tvanyam. Yeah.
So, hey, it's Gulshan from India. Wow, all the right direct link from India, from the
nice.
Wow. Look how blissful he looks. Look how big his smile is. This
is a lovely surprise.
Oh, that's great. Hey, your mic is off. Can't hear you. Can't hear your voice.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, now it's good. Now it's good.
Beautiful.
Well, what an honor. What a privilege. What an honor to have you.
Honor is mine. Yeah, it's great. It's wonderful. Wow. The only thing is I don't have a Bhagavad-Gita with me. I'm in the hotel room. I just came quickly, so I knew there is a time.
Oh,
but
wow.
The Bhagavad-Gita, so that's the thing.
No, that's fine. That's fine. We're just happy to see your smiling face.
It's awesome. It's complete ecstasy, when we in the evening. Kartik month is very busy month.
Yeah.
And when we're dancing in the whole compound, that's the rhythm and all that. Yeah. Every hair of the body stand up.
Yeah.
It's just unexplainable. You can't explain in the words.
Yeah, I know.
That's here for last 1 week.
Yeah, Jayanti showed me a video you'd sent her of some.
Yeah. Every evening is like that. The video you see in that is it's a, that in Vrindavan is a 24-hour kirtan.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's like in the evening and morning, and it's just like, so what's happening here? It's a Kartik month because it's just so flat out. Morning since 4:30, and so I go around 5 o'clock, Mangalarti and all that. And then there is a class there, just attend the class. I just come back from that to the room. So it's beautiful there. It's like, everyone is in just a one mode, Radharani. Oh, that is awesome. And Prabhupada's deity room, there's a new shops open there as well. And then Prasadam, it's wonderful. It's great. I'm here since 8.
I'm so happy for you. That's great.
It's been 1 week. Tomorrow I'm going to go back to Delhi. Yeah. And then I'm going to go to Mayapur. Yeah. And then I'm going to spend there. I met here Chitrupa, Braj Mandal, Mahanidhi Prabhu there, and Sri Kari Mataji is there, Atisundi Mataji is there. So all here. Wow. It's wonderful.
Wow, that's
great time.
Meeting
how's things at your side? How's Bob? Everything is okay, Bob?
Mate, I'm well, but look, I tell you look fantastic.
Thank you.
You're glowing, isn't he?
You have to visit here, honestly.
I've been there. I've been there.
Yeah, I've been there. Great. Yes. That's awesome.
Yeah, I stayed in Vrindavan, stayed at the temple.
Wow. Yeah, great. That's awesome, man. It's just ecstasy. Complete. Don't feel like to go anywhere.
Hey, Gulshan, did you end up bringing your family there? Your mom?
Yes. They came only just for a couple of days, for a weekend, and then they went back.
Okay.
So I bring it here, and then we stay near the ISKCON temple and visit the ISKCON, but they went to a Baki Bihari temple as well.
Yeah.
Because Sharad Purnima was on Sunday, and it was very busy, ISKCON temple and Baki Bihari. Yeah. And Ram Mandir here as well. That's it's beautiful there. So visiting that, and they went back on the weekend. They came only, and I said okay, but I'm gonna stay a bit longer.
Yeah.
And then I went to Radhakund, and I went Parikrama for the Giriraj there, and I met whom I met, the basketball player. The basketball player, Sundar. tall one. You know,
Oh,
the
Sim
tall one.
Gopal. Oh, wow. That's
Yeah.
so nice. Yeah. Oh, that's good.
Yeah,
How's
and
it?
he did parikrama with me as well, and it's beautiful there. And he explained everything with the
Yeah.
Radha Kund and the other things because I'm the first timer,
Yeah.
but he lives there, so he
Right.
knows everything. So he did parikrama with me. Halfway through the parikrama, it's heavy rain, and we just shelter under one of the little temple there, and then stop rain after half an hour, 45 minutes. Then we walk again.
Yeah.
So it took 3, 6, 7 hours, but it's beautiful.
Yes. Wonderful. Wonderful.
It's wonderful.
Oh, your life is fully successful.
Oh
That's
yes, it's 100%. Yes. Now I'm ready to die. It's okay. I'm done. Whichever loka I can go, that's fine. My life is
That's very nice.
successful now. That's
Right.
great.
Ecstatic.
And how's Bhaktimala? She's not in the class.
She's not well.
Oh, what happened?
Well, I think it's just a cold. Her and the chef's wife are sick.
Oh, I see. Just now, the Kulvinder called me as well. He's in a bhakti tree, and then he put that Mahabhadra on the phone, and he talked to me on the Skype, on a WhatsApp with a video call. And I spoke to them. He said, "No, it's wonderful, great, great. It's all good." And he was asking when you coming back. I said, "Sometime next month, maybe end of next month or so, because I'm gonna go to Mayapur, stay there. Then I'm gonna go to Puri, stay there as well, and then maybe if I go to Balaji, but depends." So sometime next month, end of next month. So pretty much 2 months trip. So it's very, very nice. So far, sickness and all is not happening. But if something happen, it's a Thakur Kripa. It just whatever happened there, like everything is just his mercy. Even if I'm in a class, that's his mercy. Everything happening there, it's just all his mercy. He can see the flowers are growing, that it's just without any restrictions. That's Krishna's mercy. You can see. And when we put the flower on Krishna's deity, flower is Krishna, Krishna is Krishna, just Krishna meet Krishna. It's beautiful. So
Yeah,
anyway,
that's where we're reading in the Bhagavad Gita now. It's
yes,
about Krishna's energies.
yeah,
So all these
energy is everywhere.
the earth and the water and the fire and the air and everything. And these are different energies of
Yes,
Krishna.
yes.
So it's all coming
It's
from
all Krishna's
Krishna.
energy, and then
From the earth, as you know, from the earth, when the water comes on the earth, then the flowers grow and everything like that.
yeah,
So the earth, the water,
everything.
all these things is just, and the
Yeah.
flowers are coming, everything. It's all Krishna's energy. So a devotee, when a devotee sees the flower or smells the flower, remembers Krishna. This is Krishna's energy.
Yeah, that's right. He sees Krishna in everything, and
And
everything in
because it
Krishna.
is Krishna's energy, then it should be given to Krishna. It should be offered
Yeah,
because it
that's right.
belongs to him. It's Krishna's
But,
energy. So the
yeah,
flowers and the fruits and the vegetables, everything, it's coming
yeah,
from him. He's
yeah.
producing it. It's his energy. So it should be offered to him. It should be given to
Offered
him.
to him. That's
And
right.
that's what we call
All,
sacrifice when you give it to
all
him.
his anyway. It
It
just
belongs to him.
nothing is mine. Not even this body. Nothing. It's
Yeah.
just all
And then
his.
after it's been offered to him, then we can enjoy it.
That's
So we
right.
give the flower to Krishna, then we take the flower.
Then
We
we
give
can
the
smell.
food to Krishna,
That's
then
right.
we take the food.
Then we
Everything.
100%. Yeah, yeah. That's right.
Everything like that. And so we're not missing out. We're not missing out, but we're just adding that one important step that should be given to Krishna, should be offered to Krishna.
Yeah.
And that brings love into our life, Otherwise there's no love there. Otherwise just, I'm going to take the money and take the flower and take the food and take this for me. There's no relationship there. But in bhakti, we're adding this beautiful relationship with God, with Krishna.
Yeah.
And
And that's the good thing is about that one will continue in the next life. If we come as a human, and then we have to do everything from the zero, from the scratch. But this bhakti, whatever we do, it's continue from there.
yeah,
It's awesome,
yeah,
that's wonderful thing there happening. But
yes,
yeah, it's awesome. So
wonderful.
what are we reading today?
Okay, yeah, 7th chapter, text number 5. So we'll just read the Sanskrit and then the English and like that, as we do.
Yeah.
Aparayam matastwanyam
Paryam
prakritim vedi me param
Prakritam
Vedi
jiva bhutam mahabaho
Jiva Bhutam
Bhutam Mahabhao
yayedam daryate jagat.
Yayam Dashe Jagat.
Bob, do you want to read the English, please?
But these, O mighty armed Arjuna, there is another superior energy of mind which comprises of living entities who are exploiting the resources of this material inferior nature.
So we're learning so much here. So we've just heard about, so this is following on from the previous verse, which was saying that Krishna has 8 separated energies, which was earth, water, fire, air, and space or ether. And then subtle ones, mind, intelligence, and false ego, ahankara. So he explains these 8 energies in the previous verse. And now Krishna's saying besides these, so there's something else besides this. So there's 8 material energies. Besides this, he says there's a superior energy, still energy, because the previous verse is telling about 8 energies. But there's another energy, still an energy, but a spiritual energy, because the previous ones were 8 material energies. But this one is a spiritual energy, and that one is the living entities, and that's called Jiva Bhuta. Jiva Bhuta. So the living entity when the soul comes to the material world is called Jiva Bhuta.
Sorry, when the soul comes to where?
To the material world. To the material world. The Jiva means the living entity, as a conscious entity. See, the previous 8 energies, they're not conscious. There's no consciousness there. That's why the soul is superior to matter, because the soul has consciousness, whereas matter doesn't have consciousness. So, and the soul is, as it's saying in this verse, is exploiting the resources of the material nature. So what are the resources? That's the previous 8. So the soul is exploiting the earth and the water and the fire and the air and the space and the mind, intelligence, ego, like that. So that the soul is utilizing these things, for and what we're doing, and Maya, the soul, is using these things for sense gratification. So we use it for our own pleasure. So the soul has come to the material world and using Krishna's energy, but for his own pleasure, forgetting Krishna, forgetting who the energy belongs to, and we're thinking it belongs to me. This is my earth and my water and my fire and my house and my car and my money and my woman and my children and my country. And so we've taken proprietorship, and we're basically thinking we're God. And then this is all for me to enjoy: sex, drugs, rock and roll, eat, drink, and be merry, like that. So that's the mentality of the soul in the material world. So that's called the Jiva Bhuta, the soul in the material world. But actually, we're a spiritual being. We're also an energy of Krishna, and we're meant to be enjoyed by Krishna. Our real purpose is not to use Krishna's energy for our pleasure, but our real purpose as a servant of Krishna is to use Krishna's energy for Krishna's pleasure. That's what we're supposed to do, to utilize Krishna's energy in Krishna's service, like that. But we're taking Krishna's energy and with the false understanding that it's mine, and we're using it for our pleasure. So that's lust. Lust means to have that purpose to gratify our own senses. That's called lust. And the desire to please Krishna's senses is called love, which in Sanskrit is prema. So the Sanskrit word for love is called prema. And there's a lot of that in Vrindavan. A lot of love for Krishna. A
Yeah.
lot of love. Everyone doing things there for Krishna, you know, singing for Krishna, dancing for Krishna, cooking for Krishna, you know, talking about Krishna, Jai Radhe Radhe, like that. So everything for Krishna. So that's love. And when we desire to please ourself, our own senses, that's called calm. The Sanskrit word for that is calm. K-A-M-A. Long A, then a short A, karma. So that's the difference between lust and love. You know, lust is when we desire to please our own senses, and love is when we have a desire to please Krishna's senses. So the whole process of bhakti yoga is meant to turn us from being lusty, you know, trying to please our own senses, to being lovers of God, you know, lovers of Krishna. So the whole process is to turn us from that, of being exploiters of the material world. And what's some good examples from the Vedic culture or otherwise of persons that were really lusty exploiters of the material energy? Any examples that come to mind? Any persons?
It's anything we're using for our sense.
Yeah, what's
That
who are some good examples? It's nearly the whole planet is a good example today. But
That's pretty much.
previously, in the Ramayana, in the story of Lord Ram, who is the best example of the exploiter of the material resources? Ravana, the great demon Ravana. He even took Ram's wife for his enjoyment.
Yeah.
That's the pinnacle of lust. You know, even to steal another man's wife for his own enjoyment, like that.
It's
And
mentioned in the
what was
Ramayana.
his city? Lanka. What Lanka means? What does Lanka mean? What was the city made of? Lanka
It's made of
means
gold.
gold.
Yeah.
So it's a city of God. So he's exploiting all the Mother Earth. You know, that's what materialistic people do. They take all the gold out of the earth, all the silver, all the minerals. You know, like our phones and that. It's all made of like precious metals from the earth. Did you know that? The things that make the phone work is not the plastic on the outside. It's all the precious metals. But even the plastic on the outside, that's from under the earth, right? The oil. That's the oil. Plastic comes from oil, which is from the earth. You know, like that. So, and then the precious metals that are inside it, the copper and all these different things like that. That's the silver and gold, like that. That's what makes it work.
All the mining industry, they are doing just
That's
same
what
thing.
Australia, the only reason why Australia has any money is because they've
Only
exploited the
mining.
earth. All the
Yeah.
mining they do in Australia, it's mostly desert, but nothing much you can produce on top. But from underneath, they're ripping it up. And
Yeah.
one time, Ananta Sesha, he showed some pictures of all the open cast mines in the Hunter Valley.
Yeah.
Not far,
Yeah.
actually, from Nugakula. There's all these open cast mines, and it looks like massive scars when you look at it from the aerial thing. Massive scars on the surface of the earth. Just like we hear about the moon has craters, right? But we've created so many craters on the earth from all our exploiting Mother Earth. And how do you think Mother Earth is going to deal with us after we've been exploiting her so much, and also the Father? And wherever you say mother, means there must be a father, right? You don't have a mother alone, you know, because we're the children, right? So children means if you talk about children, you know for sure there must be two things: a mother and a father. You can't have just a mother. Or like that. Oh, Deepa's joined us. Wonderful. Hey, Kartik.
Hello.
Hey, Deepu, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Oh my goodness.
Wow,
Nice.
yeah. And Gulshan straight from Vrindavan, direct from
Wow.
Vrindavan.
That was
Krishna,
awesome.
Radhe. Yeah.
Krishna, Vrindavan Ram.
Well done.
Yeah. So yeah, what's going to happen when we're just talking deeper about 7th chapter, text number 5, and it's mentioning there how the soul, the living entity in the material world, is an energy of Krishna, and is taken up taken up the task to exploit the material energy, to exploit the material resources. Because the material resources are mentioned in the previous verse, text 4, but it's mentioned in this one, that text 5, the soul is a superior energy to the previous material energies, earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, and ego, so 8 of them. But we're trying to exploit these energies. And so now what we're asking is, well, if we exploit our mother Earth, right, Bhumi, and then how's she going to deal with that, and how's the father going to deal with that? Is it going to be a very good experience for the kids when they do like that? We call them spoiled brats. It's like, we call them spoiled brats. And how do you deal with a spoiled brat? You used to
Smack
be like
it.
this, right? You used to get a ruler.
Smack it.
And
That's
whack.
right.
Whack. You know, so we're experiencing that. Giant is saying that it's not allowed anymore to whack your kids. But Mother Earth and Krishna don't follow our stupid modern rules. They can still give us a good whack, and you can't do anything about it. So even though our modern earthly law is saying you can't punish your children, but the good news is that Krishna doesn't follow our pathetic human laws. And if we're naughty, if we disobey the laws of material nature, then definitely punishment will be there. And that's very unfortunate, you know, because we're in a human body, so we're given sufficient intelligence to know right from wrong. And that's what makes us different than an animal. Doesn't really have the freedom of choice, you know, to do anything. Like if a chicken or a bird stands in front of my dog, the dog's not going to think, I wonder, is it right if I eat this or not? It's just gonna devour it, you know. And I've seen him do it, you know. So and there's no choice. It just has to act in a particular way. But it's not the case with a human being. We're not forced to act just in a particular way. We have a higher intelligence which can discriminate between right from wrong. So we should think, you know, when that food is in front of us or whatever, you know, is this right for me to eat this? You know, is this what Krishna wants me to do? Would my spiritual master be pleased with me, you know, and Krishna be pleased with me if I, you know, eat this Big Mac from McDonald's or whatever like that, you know, like that. So we think, what does the Vedic scriptures say about that? You know, for me to lie and cheat and steal and everything like that, you know, so we're supposed to know what's right and wrong. It's like a human being, right? If you drive on the wrong side of the road, like if you drive on the right in Australia, then you can't, when you go before the judge, you can't say, "Oh, I didn't know you can't drive on the right side. I'm from America. In America, we drive on the right side, you know." Actually, I did that in America. I just recently
If you can reach to the judge, you might have an accident and die. You can't even reach to the judge.
But luckily there was no cops around when I drove on the wrong side of the road, and I didn't hurt anyone. But I was at an intersection with driving my spiritual master Giriraj Swami in the car, just me and him in a Cadillac, and I drove into the
Wrong
left
side.
hand. I drove from the right side of the road into the left side because my brain is so like that. But if I had been pulled up, there would have been no excuse. You know, I would get punished just as much as anyone else, you know, just because I wasn't aware of the law or whatever like that. You know, they say, you know, you're a grown-up man, you know, you're supposed to know the rules. You know, why are you getting in a car if you don't know the rules like that? So that's how it is. So there's no excuse, you know. So unfortunately, human beings not following the laws of God, you know, are very rebellious. Not only we don't follow the laws of God, but we don't even acknowledge that there is God. That's why we don't follow his laws, because we say he doesn't even exist. And this is atheistic society is so bad that we live in. with our wonderful science, has told us that there's no God, everything just comes by chance. There's no God in control. Everything is just by chance, and you can do whatever you like and everything. The goal of life, I was educated that the goal of life is just to enjoy as much as possible, get a good job so you can get lots of money. And then when you have all that money, then, enjoy sex, enjoy food, get a nice house, and enjoy family life and whatever like that. And if your family don't do what you want, then just chuck them out and get another one, like that. So this is the way we were educated. It's horrible. Now that we look back at how we were educated, it's terrible. So atheistic and so ignorant like that. But the Vedas is giving us the real facts, the real truth, that we're not the body, we're a spirit soul. We're not like the previous 8 material elements mentioned. We are another energy. We are a superior energy. Of course, we shouldn't think we're superior. That's the problem, right? That we think we're so superior that I can just exploit everything. It's all mine because I'm superior. But not meaning that, but superior we're superior to the earth and the water and the fire and so forth, in the sense that we're conscious. So, but why don't you use it? You are conscious, so be conscious. Don't just act stupidly. But we're superior in the sense that the matter is not conscious. Like I can bash a rock with a hammer. And it's not going to go, oh, you're hurting me, stop it. But you bash the human body and you'll get an immediate reaction. That's because there's a soul in it. So the soul is conscious. The soul's conscious of all the pleasure and the pain within this body. So now, like Bob, since yesterday, unfortunately, has got some pain in his leg. So he's very conscious of that. It hurts, so then there's a pain there within Bob's body because the soul is there and the soul is conscious of that. Otherwise, there would be no awareness like that. So that's why the soul is superior, because there's consciousness. But we should use that consciousness correctly. And correct use of consciousness is not to take another person's property. Because the previous verse says everything belongs to God. Everything is God's energy. So that's not a proper use of intelligence or consciousness, is to take God's property for our own enjoyment. A proper use of our consciousness is, okay, the earth and the water and the fire, everything, mind and everything belongs to God, is created by God. It's his energy. It belongs to him. Let me use it for him. Like, okay, the mind is God's energy. How do you use your mind for God?
Chanting
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, you could chanting Hare Krishna and thinking about God, because what is the function of the mind? Thinking. But so you can use it for, you can use it, like I give you an example. Prabhupada, one time he called my spiritual master and one other brahmachari at the time into the room and asked them to sit down. And then they were wondering, why has he called us? What's going to happen now? And he just said to them, because they're brahmacharis, right? Celibate monks. He said to them very appropriately that when you see a woman, you can think in 2 ways, in either of 2 ways. That, here is this woman, let me enjoy her or exploit her for my sense gratification. It's lust. Or you can think, Krishna has sent this woman for me to engage her in Krishna's service. So let me engage her in Krishna's service. And that's love. That's love, to please Krishna's senses. So that's the choice we have. And that's as a conscious being, we have those 2 choices there. But with a lack of education and still in ignorance, then we make the wrong choice. We try to exploit the material energy for our own pleasure. But, so the mind is thinking, right? So the mind could be thinking about oh, I want to get this woman, I will enjoy with this woman, I want to get this money, I'll enjoy this money. Or the mind can think, oh, Krishna is so beautiful, and he's the most wonderful person. Let me serve him. He is so attractive, and so Krishna is so strong, and Krishna is so famous, and Krishna is so knowledgeable and wise and everything. So you could be thinking about those things. You could be thinking about Krishna's qualities. You could be thinking, like Bob said, about Krishna's names. You could be thinking about, the Hare Krishna mantra, and then saying that. You can be thinking about, how can I help other people to become Krishna conscious? Like Prabhupada was always thinking, how can I help these poor souls who are lost in ignorance and lust? How can I help them to come out of that miserable condition and become happy and become Krishna conscious? So Prabhupada's using his mind in Krishna's service like that, always thinking how to help other people by becoming Krishna conscious. And that's the only really way that we can help anyone, is if we help to connect with Krishna. I was trying to explain that to one guy recently. He was trying to help a friend of a friend who had just come out of prison, and he's very angry, very bitter at the law system and the police and everyone like that. He's very angry like that, and he was trying to help him. But I was trying to explain to him, we can't really help anyone, unless we connect them with God, because we are in a particular situation because of our karma, because of our past activities, and we're getting the fruits of that, getting the results of our past karma, past activities. That's why we're put in a particular situation of suffering or happiness like that, because of our past bad karma, good karma. So we can't really change that. You can't really help anyone in that way to change their karma. And to change the results of the reactions to their karma. You can't stop that. I said, and the only way you can really, if you really want to help someone, you have to connect them with God, because God has the power. He has the power to take away the reactions to our past karma. And if you want, now or later on, you can check probably the culmination of all the instructions of Bhagavad-Gita, 18th chapter, text 66. Very famous verse. This is like the conclusion of Bhagavad-Gita, where Krishna is saying, abandon all your other concocted duties or religions and just surrender to me, and I will deliver you. This is the point. I will deliver you from all your sinful reactions. Do not fear. Krishna says there, I'm the one that can set you free from all your suffering. And we can't. Well, what can we do? I can't stop my own suffering, isn't it? Let alone help anyone else. I can't stop myself from growing old. I can't stop myself from getting sick. I can't stop myself from dying. How am I going to stop someone else from growing old or getting sick or dying? But the only way we can really help someone is if we connect them with God, and God can really help that person. Because if we connect someone with God and they awaken their Krishna consciousness and their love for God, then they won't have to take birth again. And if they don't have to take birth, they'll go back to Godhead. And if they don't take birth again, then what else will they not have to do again?
Old age and disease.
Then no more old age, then no more disease, and no more death. The only reason why we get old, the only reason why we get sick, and the only reason why you die is because you were born. But if you're not born, then you're out. So that's where Krishna consciousness really works, is that if you change your consciousness to Krishna consciousness before you die, then when you die, you go back to Godhead and you won't take birth again in another material body. So no more, bodily aches and pains and so forth. So that's the real thing. So I was trying to explain to him, but this guy I was emailing, instead of him hearing really what I was saying, he got angry with me that I was advising him in this way. like that. So so, you know, he was associating with this angry person out of jail. And what's the result? He became angry.
Yeah,
And that's what I was warning him. I said, you be careful. Because if you, not only you can't help him to uplift him and give real welfare to him, but he might drag you down. You know, and that's what happened. Now he's more crazy than before. He's so angry at me, you know, and so it's very unfortunate that although we're superior energy, we're conscious spiritual entities, but we're misusing our consciousness because we're not connected with our Father, with our source. So we're like street kids, you know, right? If you lose your connection with your mum and dad, imagine you're a kid, right? And somehow you're out of the house. However you get there, that's so many ways. But once you're out of the house and you're roaming around like a street kid, that's a miserable life and you're lost, isn't it? I remember before Krishna consciousness, I was like that. I was so lost, so confused. I didn't know who I was or why I was here or what was the purpose. I was so lonely. Big problem these days. Especially the problem of loneliness, which has always been there, got exasperated recently by what happened in governments. What did governments do to help increase the loneliness?
Lockdowns.
Yeah, wonderful lockdowns. Everyone enjoyed the lockdown, right? You know, to make us more lonely. And that's part of the political agenda. Easier to control people. You know, that you know, make them more lonely. Then they become more insecure, more fearful, you know, more anxious like that. So this is all the politics, right? This is what they do to control people. But this is because we've left Krishna consciousness. If you immediately come back to Krishna consciousness, like what happened to me, as soon as I came to Krishna consciousness, all my confusion and lost feeling and loneliness went away. Because I realized that Krishna's always with me. I'm never alone. You know, even if I'm in a deep, dark forest, but Krishna's in my heart. You know, and Krishna's outside too, in the form of different energies, like we're hearing here. Krishna is present in the form of the earth energy and the water energy and the air and the fire. And these are different energies also connecting us with Krishna, that Krishna is not different from his energies. And these energies remind us of Krishna. Does that make sense? Does anyone want to say anything at this point? All good?
All good.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the point here, that apart from these 8 material energies, there's a spiritual energy, and that one's superior to the other 8. But we're what are we doing here in the material? We're exploiting this material nature. Deepa, do you have the book with you? If you want to have a little bit of a read, you can at some point. Bob can start if you like. Do you want to start reading the purport, Bob?
Yep. Here it is clearly mentioned that living entities belong to the superior nature or energy of the Supreme Lord. The inferior energy is matter manifested in different elements, namely earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, and false ego. Both forms of material nature, namely gross, earth, etc., and subtle is mind, etc., are products of the inferior energy. The living entities who are exploiting those inferior energies of different purposes are the superior energy of the Supreme Lord, and it is due to this energy that the entire material world functions. Do you want me to keep going?
Yeah, keep going.
The cosmic manifestation has no power to act unless it is moved by the superior energy. The living entity energies are always controlled by the energetic, and therefore the living entities are always controlled by the Lord. They have no independent existence. They are never equally powerful, as unintelligent men think. The distinction between the living entities and the Lord is described in the Srimad Bhagavatam 10:87-30 as follows. You want me to keep going? Yeah.
Yeah, can you
Okay.
just read the translation to that and then we'll stop there.
O Supreme Eternal, if the embodied living entities were eternal and all-pervading like you, then they would not be under your control. But if the living entities are accepted as minute energies of your lordship, then they are at once subject to your supreme control.
Yeah. So these previous 8 material energies and then the superior spiritual energy, we're all energies. So the idea is that energy means you're under control of the energetic. The energetic means the source of the energy. So whenever you talk about energy, you should know that there's a source of the energy, right? So this light here, there's, if I turn it on, there's this is energy, this light energy. But is it existing by itself?
No.
No. If you go down the wire far enough, you'll come to the power station. And so without the power station, you're not going to have electricity. But not only the power station you need, but you need the engineers in there. So there's so many intelligent persons there, engineers, that are controlling that energy. And they can just flick a switch and all the light bulbs will work. And they can flick another switch another way and nothing will work. So I mean, they're in control, right? If those guys in the power station went on strike, if they went on strike today, then would you have any power?
No.
No, you wouldn't have any power because they control the energy. So in the same, take it up to right up to the universal scale. The sunlight, the energy is the sunlight is energy, and that pervades everywhere, and it gives heat energy and light energy. But that comes from the sun planet. But not only you have the sun planet is controlling that light and heat, but there's a person that controls that planet. And it's a male, and his name is Surya Narayan or Vivishwan. He has different names. He's an incarnation of God, and he controls the energy. And if he wanted to, he could not come up on the eastern horizon tomorrow, and we would all become one big ice block. So we're completely under his control. And so wherever there's an energy, you have to understand there's a controller of it. So our problem is we're so dumb that we just think, oh, there's sunshine, and there's water, and there's air, and there's fire, and there's earth. But we don't connect it with, well, there's someone controlling that. But in the Vedic culture, they always understand, oh, there's water. Okay, Indra. Indra controls the water, the rain. Or air, Vayu. Vayu controls the air. Oh, water. Oh, Varuna controls the water. And then Krishna, he controls everything. Like that. So that's important. Well, why is it important to know about Krishna and Varuna and Surya and like that? Because they're controlling us. Why don't we get it? Isn't that important to know something about the, persons that are controlling us? Because if you don't, and if you peeve them off, if you upset the persons that are controlling you, what might they do? Okay, we're turning off your no more power, mate. So that's important. It's important to have a relationship, and a nice relationship, with the persons that are controlling us, because we're not going to be able to function without them, Like even these personalities, you know, the demigods and also the super soul, they control even the working mechanisms of the body. Like if they're not happy with us for whatever reason, they could turn your eyes off. What do we call that when your eyes are turned off?
Blindness.
Blindness. They could turn your legs off. What is that called? Lameness. You know, and if none of your limbs work, what do we call that? Paralyzed. You know, and if you can't hear anything, what do we call that?
That's
Deaf. You know, so, and we think, oh, just by chance, just bad luck. No, sorry, mate, it's not bad luck. It's not chance. Is that the personalities that controlling your different bodily parts have just turned off that mechanism, you know, and that's due to whatever, whether it's, you know, some karma from the past activities or whatever, or it might be for in a devotee's case, would we see that as bad karma? If something happens to a devotee, like they get in a car accident or something, or
Yes.
they break their leg or something, or they go blind or something, would we see that as karma?
Yes.
No, we
No?
wouldn't. We would see that Krishna is making some special arrangement. That's not just the modes of material nature working on that person. That is actually Krishna, who is using what looks to be our past bad karma, but he's administering it to us in such a way to help us, the devotee, become even more detached from the material world, more disgusted and frustrated with the material world, and more attached to him. That Krishna uses
that's why
these.
Krishna gave me the sickness. So I'm detached from the cafe and everything, and
Yeah.
attached to Krishna.
Yeah, so we would say that Gulshan getting cancer was not his bad karma. That was Krishna personally, you know, working in Gulshan's life to bring him closer to him, back to Godhead. You know, so that's not an ordinary situation of just good karma, bad karma. You know, some suffering.
It's a kind of realignment.
And look at what happened. Now Gulshan's in Vrindavan.
Yeah.
You know, so Krishna's bringing us in. He's pulling us in, you know, one way or another. And even the devotees experiencing some happy situation. It's not ordinary good karma, the results of good karma. That's Krishna personally giving some pleasure. Like Gulshan was saying, that now in the arati's evening arati, all of his hairs are standing up on end. That's happiness. You know, but this is not his hairs are not standing up because of good karma. His hairs are standing up because Krishna's pleased by his service.
So
you
I
know,
have
that he's been, you know, looking after very, very nicely all the people coming into the bhakti tree. Oh, so nice to see you, sir and madam. Very happy that you've come here. Please take a seat. We will feed you. Like, so if you look after Krishna's devotees, Krishna's servants very nicely, then Krishna will make your hairs stand on end.
So Abhay, just clear this up for me. So
Yep.
you've got someone that's in control of the sun, the wind, the water. Who controls the earth?
Yeah, it's a woman, and her name is Bhumi Devi. That's why it's not by chance in English that we say Mother Earth, because the person that controls the earth is a woman.
Bhumi.
Sometimes the controller is male, and sometimes that doesn't matter, man or woman, but they're devotees of God. They're servants of God. All the demigods who control different parts of the material universe, they're all servants of God. They're all called Vaishnavas, you know, or Vishnu Dutas, you know, they're servants of the Lord. And so Krishna has given them some responsibility. Okay, Bob, I want you to control that department. Gulshan, I want you to control that department. And Deepa, I want you to control that department. And
Abhay, you control the department of
who's
Gita.
they'd probably give Deepa the treasury department, so you can take up Kuvera's role.
Kubera.
Kuvera is in
That's
charge
not
of
the
the
bread for it.
treasury
He's a
department.
treasurer.
So yeah. But yeah, we don't want to send Deepa to the treasury department. We want to send her back to Godhead. So it's much better than the treasury department.
One way ticket, Deepa, one way ticket.
Oh, I
No return.
know. I'm so unqualified though.
But if you keep on organizing Ratha Yatras, then you'll probably go to
You're
the
qualified.
I don't know
to the
what I did.
Krishna's department, not the Treasury Department. We want to
I
go to
don't
the
know.
Krishna department. Krishna's
But
department.
it was it. I've been reflecting on it, and I was thinking Ratha Yatra, and after that, I mean, the next morning, Ramtek went back. He's back here, by the way.
Yes, I was thinking he would be. Yes.
He is back now. Will be almost 1 week. And
Yeah.
what was it? Just over a month and a half after that, it was COVID shutdown. What we did something so wrong. I don't know what it was. Jagannath wasn't happy at all. Something.
Well,
always
that's
happy.
we can see like that, but all you can see also is that the Kali Yuga is symptomized by so many demons, asuras.
Oh, yeah.
And that what is the purpose of the demons? Just to cause difficulty for the devotees.
Yeah.
So they're always trying to cause difficulty for the devotees. Like, if you go back a year or so ago, one day before Janmashtami in Auckland, the one day before they were going to celebrate Janmashtami, they normally get more than 10,000 people come for Janmashtami in Auckland. Our wonderful, beloved government locked down Auckland one day before Janmashtami, so they cancelled. They cancelled the whole Janmashtami. Was that because Krishna was unhappy or whatever with the devotees? No, I'd say it's because of the stupid bloody demons, which all should be shot, so, and that's why does Krishna come to the material world? Paritranaya sadhanam vanashaya chadaskudam dhamasam stapanataya sambhavami yuga yuga. 4th chapter, famous verses in the 4th chapter, text 6 and 7. Ida hidamasya glanirvarta tanatmanam sujamyaham. If a Hindu is going to know any verse from the Bhagavad-Gita,
This
it'll
is
be
the one.
one of those two.
Yeah. Yada yada hi dharmasya. Yeah.
That, whenever that means whenever and wherever there is a discrepancy from the following of religion, then he says, I will come. I will descend to the material world, yuga after yuga, age, time after time. And then to deliver my devotees and to annihilate the demons and to re-establish religious principles, I come again and again. So why does Krishna come? Because the bloody demons are causing suffering for the devotees. So Krishna comes to take them out. And I mean, Krishna could just get, one tiny little energy in the form of COVID or whatever to kill the demons. It's not, he doesn't have to come just to kill demons.
He can send the Sudarshan Chakra.
Yeah, send the Sudarshan. But it specifically comes to have a loving relationship with the devotees, because the devotees feeling separation from the Lord. And the Lord comes to relieve their suffering at the hands of the demons. And when the Lord does that, the relationship the devotees feel with the Lord just goes off the Richter scale. Can you imagine like look in Krishna Lila, that Aghasura, the big snake demon, came into Vrindavan and was devouring all the devotees, like swallowing all the devotees. And when Krishna killed the demon and brought them back to life, how do you think they felt towards Krishna?
Blessed. They feel very, very blissful, very...
You can imagine if you died and someone brought you back to life, how would you feel towards them? Or if you were nearly died and they rescued you, like Prahlad, right? He's getting thrown off a cliff and Nrsingadev caught him. He's been put in a pot of boiling oil and Nrsingadev saved him. He's been fed poisoned food and Nrsingadev saved him. How are you going to feel towards the person that saved your life? Right. When there was a forest fire in Vrindavan and they were just about to be burnt, can you imagine how painful it would be to be burnt alive?
Oh, us animal. How many
If
animals
someone saved you from being burnt alive, how would you feel towards that person?
Oh, I can't explain.
You wouldn't just say thank you very much and see you later.
No, more than that.
I'm your slave for the rest of eternity. I'm your servant, and I love you so much, thank you. I can't even repay you. There's nothing I can do to repay your saving me. So when Krishna saves the devotees, and mostly from problems created by demons, let's face it, that's where most of all the miseries basically in the material come from demons. It's the reaction from that. So I mean, like if you go back 2 million years ago when Lord Ram was on the earth, and when the citizens were all obedient and following the orders of Lord Ram, there wasn't any problems on the earth. The only reason why we have damn problems is because we deviated from God's plan. Illicit sex, intoxication, meat eating, gambling, all this rubbish. If you didn't do that stuff and just everyone was chanting the Lord's names and offering food to him and worshiping him and everything, there would be no problems. I'll give you an example. It said when Lord Ram was ruling the earth and when everyone was following him, there was no old age. This I'm talking about on the whole planet, in the whole society. There was no old age. There was no disease. Can you imagine? The earth with no diseases. And it said you didn't even have to die if you didn't want to.
Wow.
Oh, I don't feel like dying. Nah, I'm not going to die. So it's like that. That was the difference. When in a society without demons, when everyone's a devotee, can you imagine? It's like the spiritual world. When everyone's a devotee, everyone is pleasing God. If we just please God, there wouldn't be these problems. But it's because you've got these nutcases that, and we were also brought up another nutcase, that are going against God. And that's the cause of suffering. That's the cause of all our suffering. Like that. So yeah, it's a special case when a devotee goes through some suffering, and also a special case when they go through some happiness. It's not ordinary material happiness and distress caused by karma. And
but these demon also Krishna's energy anyway.
True, but Krishna gives his energy free choice. Like I said, with the superior energy, Krishna has given the superior energy a very special facility and free choice. I give you free choice. Even in Adam and Eve, right? Even in Christianity, right? I mean, you said, don't eat that apple.
Don't eat this apple.
So that was the choice. Are you going to eat the apple or not eat the apple? But he made the wrong choice. He disobeyed. The instruction was don't eat it, but he ate it anyway. So that, and then the suffering started after that. Was he suffering before he ate the apple?
Yeah.
No, it was like a Garden of Eden, right? Garden of Eden. The suffering started after he disobeyed the instruction coming from the controller. Don't disobey the controller. When are we going to understand that? There are controllers and we don't want to go against them, because believe me, they can really stuff up your life big time if you go against the person that's controlling you. Like if you're living with parents and you go against them, then good luck, mate. Your life is stuffed. If you go against the government, then good luck, although we should, because they're crazy. But they're very powerful. Like, it's so sad in Iran that one lady there, she refused to wear or took off her head covering. They have to wear the head covering. So she didn't want to wear it. So the police grabbed her and like thrashed her so much that she died. And the whole country, and especially all the women, are just protesting and like that, so many things. And but they're just, the police and the government and police are just killing the people. They're just killing them. Anyone that protests, they just kill them. So like hundreds and hundreds have died, and like thousands are, hospitalized. Well, they can't even go to hospital. They just go to someone's home, because if you go to hospital, they know that you've protested against the government, and there'll be even more suffering. So if you get nearly killed, they just take you to someone's home to look after you. They can't even take you to hospital. But they're just so so crazy. These governments, you know, stupid rules and everything. But that's the thing, you know, you go against the person that's controlling, and they can make your life, you know, terribly bad. But yeah, so Kali Yuga is a very difficult situation, very difficult situation. But Prabhupada's policy was try to live self-sufficiently as possible, independently from the materialistic society. It's very destructive. So
Prabhupada says if you have got 1 acre of land and 1 cow, you can survive. So you'll get milk from the cow,
no food problem.
yogurt and all, and then you can cow dung, you can fertilizer or fuel for the fire, and then grow something in there. 1 acre of land, 1 cow, you can survive.
Yeah, yeah. So this is Krishna is the controller, and that's his advice. You know, live a simple, like Prabhupada said so many times, simple living, high thinking. Simple life means growing your own food, and you know, have a simple house to live in. And
that even they're trying to, I don't know, it seems like they're trying to control, because my neighbor about at the end of the street here, we've been getting honey from him from the time we've been here. So it's 10 years we get our honey, because he's got hive, and so we get, I mean, it's totally pure, and he gives it
Organic.
so we get it from him. And today we went to get some from him, and he said that the authorities have come by and they're going to come and destroy my hives, because recently we had some I don't know, some some mite or something, some disease. And so to what they told us was to control that, they're going to destroy all the bees.
they're like
I said, so is that what they've done now
like,
for COVID? You know, there's this virus, so they kill all the people. There's no more virus.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it doesn't make sense. It's like,
I know, so they're just mad. In Sanskrit it's called pramata. Pramata means mad or crazy. So they're just completely crazy, and they're trying to make everyone else crazy.
Yeah,
but
apparently
but
they
eventually
said that
what will happen is like what Krishna says in the Bhagavad-Gita, that he will annihilate the miscreants. So in due course of time, they'll all be, you know, Mother Nature. You know, it's said that Durga, who is controlling the whole material world, is controlled by Durga, the wife of Lord Shiva. She has a trishu, a trident that has 3 prongs. And that's these prongs represent the Adhyatmic Klesha, Adhidaivic Klesha, Adhibhautic Klesha. That means miseries from the body and mind, and miseries from other living entities, and miseries from material nature, like natural disasters and so many things, tornadoes, hurricanes, tsunamis, all these things. So she is in control of all these things. So she can just punish the living entities. So if the demons get too out of hand, like what they're doing, then she can just wipe them off, you know. Because from these powerful controllers' point of view, we're just like a little bug. You know, you get a little bug on your hand, and what do? You just flick it off, you know, like that. So if you get if the bug causes you too much problem, you just like flick it somewhere else, you know. So that's what's going to happen. But the best thing we can do is separate ourselves as much as possible from the modern demoniac society, which is just getting lined up to be squashed, you know, by Mother Nature. You know, that's the best thing to do. And Prabhupada said that, you know, 50 years ago, that we should try to be very aloof from this modern materialistic civilization, and try to be self-sufficient as possible. And it's just degrading more and more. And the good news is that after this modern civilization has collapsed, and that's predicted in the Vedas and also by the spiritual master Prabhupada, that there'll be a golden age, a mini golden age within Kali Yuga. So we really look forward to that coming, which will be a fantastic time where everyone's into spiritual life.
That'll be somewhere around 427,000 years away.
No, we're not talking about the end of Kali Yuga. But within, right at the beginning of Kali Yuga, there's a 10,000 year break from Kali Yuga, which there'll be a mini Satya Yuga, mini golden age within Kali Yuga, and that was brought about, initiated by Lord Chaitanya coming 500 years ago.
The 9,500 year left.
Yeah, so he planted the seed of that. He planted the seed of that, but it hasn't really blossomed yet because of this crazy materialistic civilization. So there is a universal plan to crush that, and then the golden age will manifest, and it must happen because it's the desire of the Lord. So anyone that's an obstacle for the desire of the Lord, they will be crushed without any doubt whatsoever. So, and that's predicted by so many great personalities, right up to Lord Nityananda has explained that. So we just want to make sure we get through the crushing, crushing stage, of modern madness. So yeah, as much as possible, we recommend to everyone, try to, be in some kind of community situation is the best, with some other like-minded people that are into simple living and high thinking, and that will be very beneficial.
Is that anticipated within our lifetime or not?
Well, Prabhupada said it will collapse in 50 years, and he said that 49 years ago. So, and even modern astrologers, astrologers, they are saying we are lining up for World War III at 2030-31. There will be a global war. So that's the culmination. So Prabhupada's not very far off what the astrologers are saying.
Hold on to 9 more years. You'll see.
Not 9 more years. 2030 is 2022 now. So
22, sir. How many?
It's less.
Yeah,
so
8 years. Yeah.
And they're saying the wars that are going now, like with Ukraine and Russia, the wars are not going to completely stop. They're only going to build up more and more and more for the next 8 years until there's a complete world one. So the side, what do they call it? The cards are on the table. The signs are on the cards. Signs are on the cards. Isn't that what they say? The signs on
something like that.
The signs, was it the signs on the cards? I can't remember. Anyway, the signs are there. Unless you're completely blind, I can't see. But the signs, warning signs are there. Society is just insane. Trying to restrict all religious practices, shutting down churches and temples and mosques and everything, and not allowing freedom of movement and freedom of speech and all these. It's a sign of complete insanity in society. So, so just because I love you all so much, we want to, give everyone the knowledge, that you have to take care of these things. We have to take care of these things. And we shouldn't just say depend on Krishna, because depending on Krishna means that, if Krishna is telling you to do something, you should do it. That doesn't mean depending on Krishna. So Krishna is telling us, simple living, high thinking. Why do you think Krishna, when he appeared on the earth, where did he appear? If Gulshan doesn't know this, I'm going to give him a big smack when I see him next. Where did Krishna appear?
Was it Vrindavan?
Vrindavan. Okay, explain what Vrindavan is like. Is Vrindavan a city 5,000 years ago when Krishna appeared there?
No, there was a little village.
Yeah, a village, and what did they do there? Produce mobile phones and nuts and bolts?
Just some cows, and he was a cow.
Has some cows. They grow some food, and milk some cows, and they live perfectly happy by doing that, working with the cows and growing food. What Krishna is holding? What is Krishna holding in his hands?
Flute.
A flute, which he'd used not only to call the gopis and that, but also to call the cows.
Yeah.
And he had, what else did he have on his body? He had a rope tied around his belt. What was the rope used for?
Oh, this is mother time up.
Use it to tie the cows, because when you milk a cow, you tie it. When you milk a cow, you tie it so it doesn't kick you. So all the cow herd boys, they would always carry a rope, and also, flutes for calling the cows. And what is Balaram holding? Come on, you devotees, you should know these things. You don't know what God is holding. He's holding a plow over his shoulder. He's got a plow. You know what you use a plow for? For digging the soil. Why do you want to dig the soil? To grow grains, to grow food. So when God comes to the world, what does he do? He shows us by example. Yad yad acharat, Ishrestas, chapter 3, text 21. Whatever the great person does, the common people follow. 321, important verse. So he's the greatest person. What is he teaching us by example? Grow your own food, milk cows, live in a village. And what do? Live in a city, produce nuts and bolts and phones, so anyway, we're trying, but we should think carefully, because like I was saying, this verse, we're a conscious entity. You're not dull matter. You're a conscious entity. So think carefully, use your intelligence. I nearly said lose your intelligence, but that's a fact, that if you don't use your intelligence, God-given intelligence, you will lose it, because you will be born in another body without any intelligence. And that's called being born in a rock, or a dog, or a pig, or a cockroach, or a worm in stool, or something. You won't get given intelligence anymore, because God has given us a chance. He's given us intelligence, how to think very carefully, very calmly. What is the best way for me to live my life? How to live my life? What is the best way? Oh, Krishna and Balaram are doing like that. I should also follow their example, like that. So this is, human life is a big responsibility. We should not think, I leave everything up to Krishna. Krishna will just do with me whatever he wants. No, Krishna's giving us a brain, and then to decide what's the best thing to do, and he'll help us. Like what did Krishna said to Arjuna in the 11th chapter, that by my arrangement, I've already killed everyone on the battlefield. This is, I think, 1133. I've already killed everyone by my previous arrangement, Arjuna, but I want you to be my instrument. So actually God is doing it, but through us. But the point is, we have to make the effort to act. We have to act. We have to do something. We have to act. Don't leave everything up to Krishna. Is that what Arjuna did? Oh, Krishna, you're the supreme controller. You kill all these soldiers. You kill all the Kauravas. I'm going to sit back on the chariot, and you can I'll give you my bow and arrow, Krishna, and you don't need it. You're just going to use your disc. You can just chop everyone's head off, and it's a fact. Krishna can just chop everyone's head off, but he gets his devotee to do it. He wants the devotee to do the work. Why? Krishna he doesn't even need to click on his fingers, and everything will just fall into place. But why he doesn't do that? Why does he want us to do something? Why does he want us to plant the potato? He could put all the potatoes in.
He wanted teaching us.
Weeds in.
Then
where's our service if we don't do anything? Where's our love?
Yeah.
Because love means service. Service means you have to do something. With your brain, you have to use it. With your mind, you have to use it. With your words, you have to use it. With your arms and your legs, you have to use it. And that's when you get a credit that, Abhai's done service. He planted some potatoes for me. Or Deepa's done some service. She made some money saved some money of the temple. Did whatever like that, saved the temple losing money. Like that. So I've done some service. Or she worked her backside off for 3 months organizing Rath Yatra, dealing with crazy council and, dealing all their requirements and do's and don'ts and everything like that. It's a pain in the backside. No one else wanted to do it except for Deepa. But then she gets the credit. I didn't get the credit for Rath Yatra because I didn't do anything about it. But, Deepa got the credit. So that's the thing. Krishna's doing it, but through us. And he doesn't do it himself because he wants you to get the credit. And that's because he loves us. He wants us to develop that love to get us to do the work. And that's how you generate the love. How come the mother has so much love for her child? Because he works damn hard. Because of all the hard work. You know, day and night, she doesn't sleep. She can't sit on the toilet without the child, you know, calling. She can't even eat without the child calling. Because she she works so hard for that child. So she has more love for that child than the father or anyone else. You know, because she's invested, you know, everything into that child. You know, so Krishna's trying to draw that out of us. Okay, you love me? Prove it. Do something. You know, fight. Grow the veggies. Milk the cows. You know, build a temple. You know, something. You know, like that. So that's the thing. So you can't say, you know, depend on whatever happens. If Krishna wants to just destroy everything and us with it or whatever, then that's Krishna's arrangement. Whatever. No, you know, Krishna's warning us. You know, that the demons are always causing problems for us, and you know, you should try to be independent from them. And you know, live a simple life, like we're showing the example, Krishna and Balaram. Live a simple life. This is the best way to live in the material world. You know, like that. So that's just some thoughts in the matter. I'm sorry, Bob, that we've gone over time. And Bob was in so much pain. He only wanted to go for an hour.
I'm good.
But he's transcended it. He's transcended it. So all glories, you know, Krishna will give you special blessings for all your austerities, Bob. He will. All of us. You know, whatever difficulties you undergo for Krishna's pleasure, you're going to get special mercy. You're going to get special blessings, special mercy. Krishna's watching everything. Oh, you're going through so much hardship to try to, you know, hear about me and serve me and everything. You know, I'm very pleased. You know, have no doubt, you know, special mercy. You know, we go through some short time suffering, you're going to get long time happiness. This is called the Shreyas and Prayas. Prayas means short-term happiness. That's a materialistic person. Let me smoke this cigarette now, enjoy for 5 minutes, and suffer for the rest of my life with lung cancer and everything. You know, but enjoy for 5 minutes, that's all. You know, this is called prayas. I just want to enjoy now, just now, enjoy. Don't worry about I'm going to die tomorrow, you know, so, but the opposite to that is shreyas. That's long time happiness. So in order to get the long time happiness, the devotee is prepared to go through some short time suffering. And that's called austerity, tapasya. Go through some tapasya. Like getting up early in the morning. It's difficult to get out of the bed, you know, to go to the Mangalarati or to chant out. It's tapasya. For a short time, it's suffering. Voluntarily, the devotee is accepting that. Because we know, why do we go through that suffering voluntarily? Who voluntarily chooses to suffer? Yeah, but we do. Because we know that this is for my ultimate good. This is called Shreyasam or Nishreyasam. Nishreyasam means the ultimate benefit, the ultimate welfare, the ultimate good. Because for achieving the ultimate good, we're prepared to go through some temporary suffering. You know, or sacrificing 2 hours a day to chant 16 rounds. That's some suffering. You could have been watching TV or sleeping or eating or something, making more money during that time, but you sacrifice that for Krishna's pleasure to chant Hare Krishna. And the mind doesn't want to chant, like the cartoon says, you know, the wife says to the husband, chant, 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 and the husband said, can't, can't, can't. You know, so the mind is a real rebel. The mind might hate chanting. The mind says, I don't want to chant. No, I want to watch TV. You know, but you say, no, shut up, mind. You're going to chant. You know, so that's difficult. You know, you have to control your mind like that. Then Krishna's watching all this. And this is, you know, another tick for Bob, another tick for Gulshan, another tick for Deepa. You know, they're serving me like that. So it's going through difficult things. And it's a long-term happiness. So we should always have that in mind. What is the long-term goal that we're after? We want that eternal happiness. So If you have that in mind, then it's easier. Then it's easier to tolerate that pain in the leg. It's easier to tolerate that, you know, the person is abusing me, or the government is crapping on me, or whatever like that. It's easier to tolerate that if you have that long-term goal in mind, that, you know, we're heading back home, back to Godhead. Then we're prepared to undergo whatever it takes to get us to that point. Otherwise, we'll probably give up. If you don't realize that, you know, why am I going through all these difficulties? If you don't know why, you know, it's helping you achieve that ultimate long eternal happiness, then you may, you know, lose interest or give up like that. And so many people do. And I'll go back to smoking cigarettes and drinking the DB draft or the Steinlager or whatever, the beer, you know. So it's important to always understand these things. Anyway, that's about it for me from today, for today. Would anyone like to say anything?
Just thank you so much for being there for us.
It's a pleasure. It's always a pleasure. You know, I really hope you speedy recovery. And yeah, I recommend just try rubbing some nice therapeutic oils and like that.
What happened to Bob?
Salt bath.
What happened to Bob?
Mate, it's just tendon and ligament tears or something that's in my leg.
Oh.
Anyway, thank you, and mate, safe journey for you, Gulshan.
Thank you. Thank you.
Deepa, lovely to see you.
Hare
Bye
Radhe,
bye.
Radhe.
Thanks, mate.
Radhe, Radhe. Vrindavan is Radhe, Radhe.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
That's great. And lovely to see you, Deepa. How are you and the family?
Oh, we're well. I happened not to be at work today, and I thought, oh,